Hello, Serge here for the Backyard Driving Range. All right, we have a question from George S. Wolf. He says, hello, Don. I have been trying your swing on and off since about 2008 or so. I started using natural golf in 1998, so I was already accustomed to swinging the club in front of my body, so my transition to PPGS has been easy and working very well. That's because natural golf does keep the swing definitely in front of the body, but as I said many a times in dailies when people ask me about how natural golf stands up to us, I say pretty much the only thing that's natural about the natural golf is that the arms are swinging in front of the body. The whole setup is anything but natural, and that's why there's a lot of people have problems. And natural golf once advertised that they were a body-friendly golf swing. They had a chiropractor that said it was, but one of the first things Dr. Armstrong ever told me when I started working with him, that one of the worst things for a bad back is a wide stance, and natural golf has about as wide a stance as any swing that's ever been taught in the golf world, in the history of golf. And so that right in itself makes it difficult. The second bad thing about it is how they want you wide, and then they want you reaching like crazy over here, reaching for the ball with the club lined up in your palms, so your hands are arched up in here. So when you stand like this, it's pretty hard to lift the club up and not fall towards your face. All right, so natural golf is a great term. I think we could call PPGS could be natural golf because we are totally natural, but they had the name first, and so I couldn't go there. But like I said, the only natural part I believe is the fact that A, they swing it in front of them, and let's add to it, they're trying to be vertical. They're standing the club up on both sides too, but it's pretty hard to do when you have such an awkward and unbalanced stance that is putting tremendous stress on the body. I have been playing some of the best golf of my life this year using your swing, and I am 60 years old. However, the one part of the PPGS that I have trouble with is the pop-up follow-through. The only way that I can finish in the position you teach with all the weight on the left foot and the right toe on the ground is, he's talking about the right foot up, what I call pirouetted, is to artificially pose in that position, much like Mo Norman used to do with his swing. Yeah, Mo Norman used to like to hit balls, and he'd say like this when he would hit a ball. And I've seen a few exhibitions by Mo, and the first job I ever had in Florida at Sugar Mill Country Club, which was from '73 to '76, to the end of '75 for 3 years. Mo hung around there a lot at that club, and I got to talk to him a lot, and I knew him. But he used to like to say whenever he talked to anybody about the swing or did demos, and he did a lot of clinics now and then, and he would always, when he stood there like this, he would swing and he'd finish like this, and he'd say, I'm the only player in the world that finishes in a straight line, and where's that straight line? Pointing right at the target. Well, we pretty much do the same thing, only in a lot more balanced position, all right? That's why we can get there. So, back to Mr. Wolf's statement. He said, like Mo Norman used to do with his swing. I hit the ball really well, drives go around 250 yards, and I shoot close to par most of the time. But I just can't seem to pop up to the follow-through position at the finish. Maybe it is because of my natural golf years. Do you think it would be okay to just finish the way I am, or do I still need to try to pop up into the follow-through? Okay, now that's kind of a loaded question for me because you really didn't truly give me a good explanation of what your finish is. I mean, if you're finishing up here like this, like most natural golfers, they can't get anywhere from here, because if they did let their foot come up and they're swinging down the line, they're going to stop falling forward, especially with the big lean in. So the thing I need to know, and I'm just going to have to make assumptions here today, is that you probably still have some hang back, all right? And the reason why is because if you get your foot all the way up, you gotta fight to pose there and then stay there. If you're fighting to get there, then you're out of balance before you get to it. That's why you got trouble getting to the tee finish. All right? So, a couple assumptions I'm going to make. Number one, is your stance still possibly too wide? Remember, we're only narrow. We believe that for a driver is what most other people and other instructors say is what they use for a 5-iron. All right? We want shoulder wide. We want the feet. We want the knees outward pressure so that we look like a building riding a skinny horse. Not here where we're any kind of triangulation, and certainly not like an Eiffel Tower, whether it be just the right pressed in or both of them. I mean, you can't even walk that way. How are you going to try to swing a golf club that way? So my first assumption for Mr. Wolf will be that A, check your stance width. B, the other thing with, consistent with the width or even independent of the width, is could you still be reaching too far? Even if you had the proper stance but you're reaching too far, it's going to be difficult trying to swing through down the line, not being pulled forward and falling off the ball. So as you start to swing forward, I'll do it from this view, as you start to swing forward, if you were reaching too much, as you start to swing forward, it's going to pull you off. What do? Your whole backside has to kind of stop to start and stay back here more, so you have the balance to at least try to swing up somewhat to someplace, but you probably won't get to the tee finish. You probably get to here. And if you're doing all of this, just think about this. Those arms go up this way, all the torque goes straight down here, and the tension right down to that hip and across your back. And where do most golfers hurt? In the back hip, right hip for righty, left for lefty, and across the lower back. All right. Plus you can be tightening up in your hamstring and the back leg, and that you keep tightening that up. Next thing you know, you got aches and pains there, if not starting to spasm out. So I'm guessing those are the two major things that's going to be involved here. So I would say, it's obvious you're correct. You know what you've had the feeling of swinging up, down, and up again. Keeping the club in front of your body, vertical swing. But you get the key to the peak performance swing is having the perfect dynamic, balanced, athletically ready swing, which is just like as if you were playing tennis, waiting for the serve of a player in the field, baseball player out in the field. It's right here, athletically ready, weights in the arches. All right, and I'm going to guess you probably have a lot of problem with weight towards the balls or the toes of your feet. A lot of tendency to fall in, and so it could be either A, too wide a stance, or B, too weight too much forward, or a combination of both. But hopefully this will give you an idea, Mr. Wolf, and anybody else who's having trouble. Remember, the peak performance stance is about shoulder wide, and we have that little bit of turn. It's a little bit of turn and a lot of lift. Okay? Well, that's it for the search for today about good posture, good balance to make a good peak performance golf swing, so you can hit more solid straight and shoot those lower scores. That's it for today, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.